Got plenty to get through with my next guest. Joining me here at the desk, former Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Tony, great to have your company tonight. I want to get into a lot of domestic issues, but we've seen now a return to the White House of President Trump. Heavy use today of executive orders. I mean, he's hit the ground running. We'd all be a lot wiser second time round, wouldn't we?
Absolutely right. And he wants to actually drain the swamp this time. Last time, he was effectively a novice in the White House.
Yep.
He's been thinking a lot over the last 4 years, what he did wrong, what he needs to do better this time. And I would be amazed if Trump Mark II is not a big improvement on Trump Mark I. Not that there wasn't quite a bit to like even in Trump Mark I.
On energy specifically, because it's clearly going to be a feature of our looming election campaign, he is upending the whole net zero business. He's calling out the green agenda. He's particularly calling out renewables. They're investing in gas and nuclear, drill baby drill. What's this mean for Australia?
Well, if there's one aspect of today's speech that I hope we would copy, it is this idea of declaring an energy emergency. If we don't get more gas out of the ground dramatically quickly, at breakneck speed, we will either run out of domestic gas, we will have to import it at very high cost, or we're going to have to break contracts with our very significant partners like Japan. So I hope that what the next election will do is give an incoming coalition government an absolute mandate to move without any further green delays or Indigenous delays to get the Narrabri gas field open and operating, to get the Beetaloo gas field open and operating, and to get these stalled gas fields to our north and west operating in record time. We just have to treat this as a national emergency and get it done.
And it's not just about cheaper prices for households in their power bills. It's about manufacturing sovereignty, isn't it?
Exactly right. Our challengers and competitors are not putting any constraints on what they do. There's a lot of bogus talk about what China is doing in the renewable space. Well, sure, China is a big place and it's doing a lot, but China is planning to open 100 new coal-fired power stations and 10 new nuclear power stations. Now, that's the kind of thing we need to be doing if we are going to be serious about ending what has been a period of military, economic and cultural disarmament.
All right, let's go to culture, values, how we are being perceived at the moment around the world. Antisemitism, another horrific attack. I fear we're just one episode away from an Australian being killed. You've had serious security briefings in the past. Has Labor licensed anti-Semitism?
There are many problems with what the government's done, and it all started with the toleration of that abominable display in front of the Sydney Opera House back on October the 9th, 2023. But at every step, from the Prime Minister down, we've been lecturing Israel, hectoring Israel, treating Israel as a moral pariah. And when this is the signal coming from government, is it any wonder that poorly integrated migrants, cultural Marxists, the kind of renter crowd that most countries have, is it any wonder that this ugly renter crowd is being seen on our streets weekend in, weekend out, and a small group are resorting to acts of effectively domestic terrorism?
We're allowing this hate in the mosques to continue. Much of it goes online. You and I both know that's how a lot of our young people are at risk of radicalisation. We're not deporting anybody. A lot of these people are on foreign visas. This, to me, feels like a vote hunt for Labor with the Arab vote, Muslim vote in Western Sydney.
I think the regrettable reality is that the Labor Party is utterly torn. there are still some good people in the Labor Party who understand that it's Australia's democratic solidarity with Israel that matters, not some poorly integrated migrants' religious solidarity with other Muslims that matters. But far too many senior people in the Labor Party, I guess some of them have swallowed the cultural Marxist stuff about settler privilege and Israel as a kind of a settler colonist state. Some of them have been, I suppose, beguiled by the electoral calculus. It's a really dire situation, and I just hope that the decent people inside the Labor Party can somehow find the backbone to fight for decent Australian values here, because in the end, if a country like Israel is seriously diminished, even destroyed, democracy everywhere, liberal democracy everywhere is imperilled.